So now we're talking about, our favorite Luke Skywalker moment.
Yes.
Almost forgot about this segment. Or, well, what were you going to say? Because you were like, okay, well, this kind of brings us into our next segment. And then, of course...
Well, I was still kind of talking about the whole, like, Luke arc, so to speak. But I was just basically just talking about how, just the evolution of Luke Skywalker. And,
I got to be honest, this is going to be more difficult for me than the Vader moment. Because the Vader moment, I could just recall, like, instantly.
yeah. For me, I guess it's
I know, it's a scene in the trash compactor, right? I don't know.
no, I think it's probably the scene, I guess, where Luke is he's on Endor, and it's just the way that he's so calm. Like when they were like, basically like on a rotisserie, branch.
Yeah.
And he's just
3PO.
like 3PO.
It's like he was on Ludes or something,
He's like 3PO. Tell
3PO.
them, if you don't, if they don't let us go, you'll use your magic. It's like, just tell them. And then, the guy could barely lift rocks. Now he's lifting 3PO all over the place. He doesn't even have to keep his eyes closed the whole time now and really struggle. Like, he starts off with his eyes closed and he opens them, and then 3PO is still floating around and he's still doing that, and they're freaking out. And then just the way that he went over and just like the conversation he had with Leia.
I was going to say, that's mine.
Like that conversation with Leia is just like, you just see the growth and the true growth in him. Like, okay, he's a completely different person. Like you look at him there versus episode 4, and it's just like night and day.
Yep.
And he's totally like, look, I just got to tell you this in case it something happens. And, he's like, no, you have a power, no, it's in you too. And, she's just like, she finds out that Vader's her father too. And it's like, whoa. So I think to me,
see, for me, it's going to be that one. That's probably my favorite. Another one is probably, because I think I have 3 where it's, I don't know, it kind of goes back and forth. Depends on my mood. That's definitely one, though. Another one, of course, is the end of The Last Jedi when he's facing off. Of course, we find out it's a Force Ghost apparition or whatever, force projection of him, but still.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool moment, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then, of course, the third one, which, is in the mix, is the whole thing when he's walking into Jabba's palace and he's, like, force choking the Gamorrean guards and, and then he's kind of like, greetings, Exalted One. And it's kind of, again, you could tell, like, okay, this
confidence.
dude's, like, he's, like, powerful now. He's all dressed in black. We're dealing with a different Luke Skywalker. I would say that these are some of mine. So.
Jason says,
let's go with the trying to lift the X-Wing.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, I know. Ronaldo said something before that. We'll get to that in a sec. But trying to lift the X-Wing is my favorite moment with them, but that is more of a Yoda moment. Well, maybe not. I mean, it's a Luke moment too, because another moment that I can point to, if I may do a bonus one, is, again, it's tied in with my favorite Vader moment, which is when they're on the AT-AT and they're kind of like about to go see the Emperor and they have that whole conversation. And I chose that as my favorite Vader moment.
I thought your favorite Vader moment was the...
Yeah, the Force is with you, young Skywalker. But if you remember, I said both of those they're like true. Tie. I mean, it's hard for me to decide. But I think that if I had to make the choice, it would be that moment, because that's the first time we see vulnerability in Vader. He's, he's kind of wistful. He's almost regretful.
Yeah, definitely.
He's calm. He's like, Obi-Wan once thought as you do. And, it's kind of like he's having a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Which we had never seen before. Not as Darth Vader, anyway. So, the Luke moment's kind of tied in with that. So, if you spin that now with the Luke lifting the X-wing, yeah, you could say that that's a favorite Yoda moment, but it's very much a Luke moment because Luke is trying to lift it, and then he can't, and then he just assumes it's because it's too big, it's too hard. He's not really seeing the Force for what it is. He's not relying on the Force, he's relying on himself.
Yeah, and
I think that's the difference, and it's the doubt, and he's not understanding that he commands the power. It's not his power. Mm-hmm. The Force is what's lifting the stupid X-wing.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that's commanding the Force and using that to do it. It's a tool. Whereas he's thinking that it's him.
Yeah, like it's a muscle thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's almost a muscle thing. Like the Force is like a physical muscle.
Yeah.
All right, so now we've got like a ton here, huh? So like Jason goes on to say, my favorite Luke moment is him denying the Emperor, "I'm a Jedi like my father before me," is such a powerful line. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely agreed.
Ronaldo says, my favorite Luke Skywalker moment, pretty controversial, is when he projected himself in The Last Jedi and saved the Resistance.
Yeah.
Because we always forget that a Jedi must use his power for defense, never for attack, and Luke saved the last few members of the Resistance without killing anybody. Very good point.
And I think he represented the Jedi as they are, keepers of the peace, not soldiers. Bo-Wright family in comics. It's not a big scene, but I like the scene. Luke and Owen gets R2-D2 and 3PO. I'm going to go another one on that one.
Come on, Red, let's go.
I actually like the scene between Luke and Owen when they're talking about he wants to go to the academy, and he's like, but Luke, I need you for another
season.
Yeah.
Ronaldo says, that's something I agree with Ryan Johnson. Use Luke in a more peaceful way and not with over-the-top powers. And then Jason says, lifting X-Wing is a Luke moment, but I like that moment because of Yoda's line. To me, it's a Yoda moment. No, Yoda's line was perfect. I mean, but I love the part, and I agree with you, it's still a Luke moment because when Luke first started lifting the X-Wing, like the expression on Yoda's face was just like,
yeah, like really?
Like out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. And he probably could feel that Luke was powerful, how powerful Luke could become in that moment. And then once he saw like his mind though, he was just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Work I still have to do. But
well, that's why I think that you can almost juxtapose that by another great Luke moment is when he, as the Force Ghost, lifts the X-Wing out for Rey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought that was actually kind of a cool little... Again, it was a cheesy fan service thing, but if you really keep it in the context of the story, it was cool. I mean, it was like a cool thing.
Honestly, though, you know what? Here's another one for me, though. It was Luke just giving himself up to the Force and his cloak just flying away. Because he left on his own terms. Like, it wasn't because of a battle or he didn't... he left... because
that's still kind of a mystery to me too.
Yeah,
like I don't get that.
Well, and I think that comes up a little bit later in our show too.
Are you sure?
Reasonably.
All right, because the only thing we got left after this one's a clear your mind question. So
exactly.
I'm just saying.
I'm listening. I know.
Well, I mean, Jason says, not to cut you off, but he says the twin sunset moment is also great. I just want to get that in there because that's not just a great Luke moment, that's an iconic Star Wars moment. I mean, when people think of Star Wars, that's one of the scenes that they think of.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I mean, it is cool that he left on his own terms, but I just wonder what was the reasoning behind that. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. That's kind of a mystery to me. I still wonder why that was done.
Well, I think...
I know. You keep saying that we're going to get to it.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But what about... Look, we already know Ronaldo, Jason. We know, and, Bo-Wright family in comics. We know their favorite moments. What is your favorite moment? If you're not chatting with us live, if you're watching us on the rebroadcast, give us your favorite Luke Skywalker moment. We would love to know. Or tweet it at head-to-head-SW or Facebook or Instagram if you want to take a cool picture of your favorite Luke Skywalker moment.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
That'd be kind of cool to see some see some photos. And I'm sure we'll get some memes in there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of those are really great moments.
Yeah, especially I love the one when he's the lightsaber. It's like, ancient Jedi weapon. He looks directly into the thing.
You know what's funny about that? Is that they just had an article about that today.
Oh, wow.
That scene is not in A New Hope, which I didn't think it was. Because I'm like, I would have remembered that. That was actually a set picture where Mark Hamill was on set and he was looking at it. It was not actually in the movie, though.
Yeah, because I remember he just kind of went like this.
Yeah, he just started, exactly. See, what I thought that came from was I thought somebody froze it.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, like
like in
as a mid-swing. Yeah,
like before it ignited or something, and just try to make a funny thing out of it. But apparently, no, it was an on-set photo that somebody took of Mark Hamill while they were in that scene, and then it became, like this really ridiculous meme moment.
Head to Head, a Star Wars podcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @HeadToHeadSW. Submit your questions for our next show. Visit our official website at headtoheadswpodcast.com. Until next time, may the Force be with you, always.